The buying process is very simple and there is a structure to it. It's very important as a new agent for you to get the confidence of knowing the system, structure, and process of buying a property. And here we are in this video, we're about to lay it out for you. The first step is you meet your new buyer. Now, from the point you meet them, there's already something you have to do. Once you've greeted them and gone through the introduction process of just building rapport, you want to make sure that you're getting a signature on the required document from the state. This is the agency disclosure form. You want to make sure that that is signed at all times before you finish that first meeting. And just explain to them this is a required form. This is not a binding contract in any way. It's just letting people know if anything happens with the transaction down the road that you and I had a relationship and that I explained to you that I'm a real estate agent and I'm licensed and that I can represent you in a transaction. Having that knowledge, they sign, usually it's no big deal. If they decide not to sign, there's a checkbox at the bottom where you just check it yourself, you sign it and date it, put their information, and that also counts. You're going to want to make sure you do this on every transaction. Moving forward, usually you have them sign a buyer's agreement, buyer's contract. This is stating that they are exclusively going to work with you and they're going to pay you a commission. This is separate from agency disclosure. This is a binding contract. The dates in there are usually 3 to 6 months, and this is saying when they buy real estate, they're going to pay you a commission. A very important form. Make sure that you explain it to them well. You can just read it right to them. It's a short form, and then make sure that they sign, you sign, date it, save this in your file. You're going to want to upload this into Dotloop or Dropbox, wherever your company holds the files. Moving forward, you're going to be moving into the searching arena. Now you're searching for property. You've hooked them up with MLS. You've gotten their email, their phone number, put it into MLS. You know what they're searching for, and you're going out and you're looking at properties with them immediately. When somebody says they want to buy a house, you tell them, well, what are you available in the next 2 to 3 days? What are your availabilities? Because I'm going to get you in a property within 2 to 3 days. That's your goal as a buyer's agent, is get them moving fast while they're still in the moment. They want to see that they can look at property hopefully tomorrow or the next day. And you start shopping them. Now that you're seeing property, you're going out there, you're representing them, you want to make sure you're listening to your clients the whole time. It's not about talking, it's about building a relationship and listening and finding out what they want, getting them into the right properties. So after you've found the right one, this is their dream home, it's time to put in an offer. You're going to ask for a deposit of $100. This is your first deposit. And you're going to write up an offer based on the amount they're willing to pay, the closing date, which is typically 30 to 45 days from the day of seeing the property, and then from the date of signature. And then you're going to put in a contingency clause for a mortgage if it's available, a home inspection clause for getting the property inspected for 10 days, and then moving forward with the contract. If you're having any questions on how to fill out an offer form, please first download the form, take a look at it, and then you can watch our videos on how to fill out an actual offer form. They're in the transaction coordinator section. So moving forward from that point, you're going to do the home inspection. In the next video, we'll explain what the home inspection process is, how to do it. Once you've gotten the home inspection completed, you're going to go through the purchase and sale. This is a longer document than the offer form, usually around 6 to 8 pages. It's basically saying all the same stuff, and if there was any issues in the inspection form, they come up here in the inspection, they come up here into the purchase and sale, any changes that need to be made from enlightenment from the inspection. Once that's signed, now you're heading towards a closing. At this point, your job is just to build a relationship, continue to build it, ask for referrals with your buyer, make sure they're connected with their lender, make sure they're following all the steps. One of the key conversations to have, often once a week, is make sure that they're not putting anything on layaway, make sure that they're not buying anything with a loan on it, no cars, they're not refinancing anything, no new credit cards, not making any purchases on credit cards. You want to keep their credit in perfect condition. So remind them constantly to be in contact with their lender before doing any kind of purchases, large purchases before the closing. And at this point, it's just stay in touch. Make sure that you're contacting the seller's agent, make sure they're in contact once a week with you, make sure that everything's moving forward. But it's very basic. This is a super simple process. Make sure you remember the simple words. Oh yeah, this is standard. Yes, this is very common. Whenever your buyers are asking questions about the process, first start with saying, yep, this is pretty standard. Yes, this is pretty common. You want to make sure you're mitigating their energy and keeping it at a calm, sensible level, because it's very easy for energy to get out of control. It's very easy for emotions to get high in any kind of purchase, especially a buying of a new home. So make sure that you're telling them that everything's common, this is standard, this is pretty typical, yep, this happens all the time, no big deal. Keep the energy smooth. It's your job to control the energy through the transaction.